Hello everybody, welcome back to the Mainstream Indie Music channel. I welcome all of you subscribers, especially we are closing in on the high 600s. And to all of you guests, welcome as well. We have a very exciting episode and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Kind of a unique one. We're going back to kind of punk rock with this band, the Mooney Suzuki. Another New York City band too. Seems like we're kind of heavily favoring them right now. But the Mooney Suzuki actually came from the late 1990s. I believe it was 1996 was when they were first formed as a band in New York City. The band consisted of the quartet that you can see. And almost right off the bat, or not long after the band was formed, they actually enjoyed success fairly early in their career. The success was short-lived, sad to say, however, because after releasing their first few LPs and EPs, the band actually decided to split up. They didn't want to play anymore. And actually, it was a friend of theirs, a band, the Donnas, that actually kind of pushed them back together, and really what an amazing decision that was. Because in 2002, they released their album Electric Sweat, which is their biggest album, I would say, to date. On it is the song Alive and Amplified, and just like that song, it really helped push them and their career to keep going. They had a lot of good friends in the music business as well, because around that time in 2002, their friends The Strokes and The Hives, who were actually touring together, and both bands I've featured on this channel, I couldn't even imagine a show like that. Mooney Suzuki opening, followed by The Hives, followed by The Strokes. I mean, you just talk about electricity. That's just an amazing lineup. But The Strokes actually probably are to credit for what happened next in the Mooney Suzuki's career. And it is quite a story to tell because it involves the Mooney Suzuki, Jack Black, and the film The School of Rock. This is the story of what happened, and it's kind of funny because Jack Black didn't really talk about the story until I think it was one of the times where they reunited to celebrate an anniversary of the film, whether it was I think it's the 15th year or the 20th year anniversary. We kind of got the full story of the film. But apparently, Jack Black tells the story like this. And you can kind of put yourself in his shoes here. He is the lead actor of the film. He didn't help write the film, but he was heavily involved in the production and making of the film. I mean, as you can imagine, he's the adult in the story, so it kind of makes sense that he is. But not only that, but he's playing instruments. He is writing the songs of the film as well, on top of everything else going on. And so at one point, Jack Black says that he had hit a bad series of case of writer's block. He had no idea how the song was going to go, and ironically, he was working on the song that they play in the Battle of the Bands scene. So this was the climactic song of the entire film, and he had writer's block on it. So to clear his head, he decided to look up concerts, and he found one that he liked, which was The Hives and The Strokes. He goes to see them, and he sees the opening band, who is, as I mentioned, the Mooney Suzuki. Jack Black fell so much in love with this band that he not only invited them to come with him, but he had them write that climactic song and help him on other songs on the film as well. And you can see to this day, if you look at the song credits near the end, the Mooney Suzuki is there. They are credited with writing those songs and producing some of those songs on that film. Not only that, but it's kind of funny, the Mooney Suzuki was even kind of gifted even more of a special thing by Jack Black by the scene where the kids are running backstage to go perform. There's even a couple brief shots of the Mooney Suzuki standing there backstage. I think it's a gentleman. He is facing forward in a black leather jacket and glasses, strumming a guitar, almost right in shot of the camera in the very front. That's actually the Mooney Suzuki, so that's kind of cool. So they're even in the film for a little bit as well. Hey guys, it's me from the future while doing some editing on this video. I apologize because this is going to lead into this very next part of the video. Alive and Amplified was not on Electric Sweat. Rather, it was literally on, it's kind of embarrassing, it was literally on their next album, the third one, Alive and Amplified. So just want to add that on there. Now let's get back to the timeline. As you can imagine, at this point, the Mooney Suzuki is really riding a huge wave of momentum. Here they are in the early to almost mid-2000s. They are touring with their closest band friends, the Strokes and the Hives. They just had finished working on song credits and the soundtrack to the School of Rock movie, and because of all of that, they were entering their third album really with guns blazing. They were shooting for the moon with this one. And their third album did not disappoint at all. The album was called Alive and Amplified, and the lead song, which was under the same name, became their biggest song to date. Alive and Amplified especially was highlighted in a lot of video games at a time, a lot of sports video games, a lot of adventure games such as, I believe, SSX, it might have been on one of those, and maybe a few racing games as well. But it was also featured on some movies. It was everywhere. It really just kept their momentum going as they had hoped. What's kind of interesting is for the last stretch of the Mooney Suzuki's career, they kind of just fade off into the background. They released their fourth album, Have Mercy, in 2007, which had, I think, one of their most underrated hits, 99%. After the release of that album, they then went on to star and even play a few songs in Ben Stiller's hit film Tropic Thunder, again with Jack Black, and they even recorded a couple of famous covers on that film. After that, though, the band went through some different record problems. One of their record labels pretty much went bankrupt right after the release of their album, and then I like to imagine they just kind of enjoyed their time. Since then, in 2023, they decided to play Electric Sweat in full, which was only their third performance in about a decade live. And that's pretty much it right now at the end of 2024. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the Mooney Suzuki? Feel free to comment below, and I'll see you all next week.